Welcome to the Vinyl Story Show. This week, we'll be reviewing Are You Experienced by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. I'm Dave Bradley, and I'm being joined by two guests. If you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Irene.
And I'm Michael, and I'm cooler than Irene.
I'm Irene, and he's lying.
All right.
I'm hurting my feelings.
So, we have our two guests here, and we're going to go through and review a little bit of the album and its production and artistry that went behind the album. And then we're going to talk a little bit with our guests about kind of listener experience and their impressions of a couple of tracks from the album. So to get started, the Jimi Hendrix Experience was actually formed to showcase Jimi Hendrix. And Jimi Hendrix had been over in the U.S. touring in rhythm and blues bands and really wanted to kind of up his career. And in order to do that, he signed with a management production company that was formed by a member of the Animals and then also a former manager of the Animals. And those two gentlemen brought Jimi over to London to immerse him in the London recording experience. And they signed on with Track Records. And Track Records was actually formed by two members of The Who. So Jimi was surrounded by British rock members in that environment in order to be able to create this album. They also recruited two band members to join Jimi. And those two band members were for a guitarist and a drummer. And that really helped showcase Jimi and his talents with what they were able to offer. So they went into production on the album in October of 1966. And then they finished production about April, 48 years ago, of 1967. And after that, they released the album in the UK the next month. And 3 months after that, they released it in the U.S., under Reprise Records in August, and it spent 106 weeks in the Billboard 200, spent 27 weeks in the top 40. Jimi Hendrix was top 40 music, spent half a year in the top 40, and really established rock history. It was a groundbreaking album in rock history, and kind of introduced Jimi Hendrix to the world of music. So we're going to at this point, we're going to talk with Mike and Irene a little bit about their impressions of, we just listened to a couple of tracks on the album, and the two tracks we listened to were The Wind Cries Mary, and we also listened to Fire. And so I'm going to ask Irene, what did you think about The Wind Cries Mary? What was your impression of what the message of that song was?
I thought it was kind of like mourning and sad and kind of breakup-y, something you listen to in a breakup.
Okay. So you listen to that if you broke up with somebody?
Yeah. Well, it's like, it was sad.
Yeah.
Everything from the name of the song is kind of sad too.
Yeah. So Mike, what did you think about the kind of the instrumental work on the album? And
a lot slower than File. It was very slow paced and just kind of had its own little groove to it. Sadness, I liked it.
Yeah. So kind of sad. Now the next track is Fire. So we go from sad to kaboom. Can you stand next to my fire? And kind of exciting. And so Irene, what did you think about Fire? And what did you think about the instrumentalist on that?
It was faster than The Wind Cries Mary,
Yeah.
obviously. And it had really nice, cool drums.
Yeah, really fast-paced, pretty neat drums. Yeah.
Same.
All over the place. I liked it.
Yeah. So Mike, what did you think about the message behind Fire?
It was very sexualized, and
Yeah.
Light My Fire was definitely some kind of innuendo, full of little things. I don't know.
We probably should have covered Irene's ears during it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, there wasn't a lot.
Half the
The
things
thing
on
about
the radio
another interesting
there.
about it is there aren't like many verses in this song. Like it's just like very straightforward with what he says. Very focused on the music.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So the fire represents, kind of maybe
burning passion.
Burning passion.
Yeah, so,
Getting over the breakup.
Yeah, it really just goes from the sad part of.
He bounced back fast,
yeah.
right? He was
Back
sad.
He was like, I'm back.
But yeah, so it was good.
Too.
Yeah. So you guys enjoyed it. What would you give, Irene? What would you give what you listened to on a scale from 1 to 10? What would you give it as a rating?
7.5.
7.5.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the 0.5 for? Just where it
Just being very specific.
Well, it's not 7. It could be 7.
7.5.
But it's not 7. But it's not 8.
Okay. All right.
Right.
What about you, Mike? What do you
8 rock gods out of 10.
8 rock gods out of 10. Okay. So that's great. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time to give your impressions of it, your kind of your first impressions of the LP, and hope to come back and visit it again. The album is available at resurrectionrecords.com. That's resurrection-records.com. And we thank you for joining us for the Vinyl Story Show. And just remember, every vinyl tells a story. Thank you.
Peace.
Later, nerds.
Okay.